Hello guys, welcome. I'm sorry I was away. I had a car accident and I appreciate all of the messages, all of the support that I received from you guys. Thankfully I'm doing okay, slowly recovering. So as promised, I'll be back with a new video. I'll start resuming the backtesting session probably from next week or the week after. But I noticed something interesting on last week's price action regarding the orb London sweep, which is very interesting. There are some invalidation that you might note down, such as the 5-minute fair value gap break even and an IVG invalidation entry, which I'm going to explain now. So starting off from Monday, as usual, we mark the high and the low of the orb. I have the indicator here. It marks it for me. Okay, so that's the high and the low of the London. The 930 candle. So the high of the orb has already been swept. The low of the orb already been swept. So I will go reversals long below the range, reversals short above the range, and ES must be correlated. So now we hop into the 1-minute time frame. We wait for any inversion fair value gap to look for longs. We do have a gap here. Let's see. That's not a gap. No entry yet. And it's 10:30. We still have 20 more minutes for the entry. Price kept dumping. It's 10:44, 10:45. We do have an inversion that is valid. That is our inversion fair value gap. We place our stop order. Your stop is at the recent swing low, targeting 1-to-1. And ES is already correlated with NQ. It's below the range. We open the 5-minute fair value gap. Our first fair value gap is right there. So that's where we move to break even. Okay. And then we let the price run. We move to break even and TP hit. Okay. Hop to the next day. Oops. All right. So now that is our 15-minute orb. Price did not sweep London high, so we go longs above the orb. It did sweep London low. We go longs as well below the orb. So we only take longs today. Okay. So price opened. It did invert right here, but ES is not correlated. ES is inside the range, so we do not take this trade. That's an invalidation. Okay. It saved us from a stop. It did invert another one here, but ES is also not correlated, so therefore we do not take a trade. And there is no trade that day. So it did save us from a stop right here. And if we would have taken this, it will hit TP, and that's why I placed this correlation rule, just to save our mental and save our account from being stopped out. So there's no trade to that day, and we do not trade Wednesday, because Wednesday there is an last week there was an FOMC, so we do not take any trade. That is Wednesday. So we're just up 1 hour so far. Yeah, up 1 hour. One trade on Monday. Go to Thursday. Okay, that is Thursday. And that is the interesting part that I'm going to talk about. And I need you to focus with me and prepare a pen and paper. Okay, so now we are above the range. We swept London high. We're going to be looking for shorts above the orb, right? We open the 1-minute time frame. Now it's 10. Now we wait for any inversion to invert. We do have a small gap here. All right. So technically, that is our entry, right? Our stop is at the recent external swing high, targeting 1-to-1. But what happened here? There's a 5-minute fair value gap, right? So usually our 5-minute fair value gap is our point where we move to break even. But let me just delete the inversion and keep the 5-minute fair value gap, which was here. So now, before inverting that fair value gap, we tapped into the 5-minute fair value gap. So if you go back to my first video on the playlist where I explained the invalidation, and that's where it happened. It saved us from being stopped, because even though the price inverted that fair value gap, but before that, the price tapped into it before inverting, which make this inversion invalid, or the trade idea invalid, because we are entering a reversal and the price is super bullish, and we tapped into a 5-minute bullish fair value gap, makes this trade very risky. So therefore, we do not take this trade, because that candle told me a story. We are pumping, we tapped into 5-minute fair value gap, so there's no reason for you to take this inversion. It's very risky. So in this case, what do we wait? We wait for a resweep of this external high, and then an inversion. The resweep did happen. Now we wait for an inversion. So that 5-minute fair value gap pumped the price up. Do we have any inversion here? Nope, nothing yet. This inversion. Okay, so here's a trick for you guys. I mentioned in the first video, you could add a variable. I said, when you see ES and NQ both inverting a fair value gap, there's two decisions for you to make. You either increase your risk and you go for 1-to-1, or keep your risk as is and then just aim for this low resistance liquidity run. Aim more than 1R. That's up to your taste. But for me, I'll be happy to increase my risk and go for 1-to-1. Okay, so that's our inversion. We open our 5-minute fair value gap. 5-minute time frame. We do have our 5-minute fair value gap here. I'm gonna put it as green. That is our break even point. And ES as well inverted the fair value gap. So that is a double confirmation. Yeah. Now we place stop order. Price almost stopped us out. Stop loss to break even and TP hit. And when you see this setup, and note that down, when you see a setup where ES, focus, when ES and NQ both inverts a fair value gap, just journal it down. Journal it and see how it works. Because the price, when this happened, it just dumped. It dumped all the way down. Add this as a variable, not as a rule for the strategy, and test it. Go back test it and journal. See whenever you see NQ inverts a fair value gap and at the same time ES inverts a fair value gap, you could come up with a decision that will, I don't know, increase your risk. For me, I would increase my risk and go for 1-to-1. But if you don't want to increase your risk, it's fine. Just aim for a low resistance liquidity run, which is safer, or a high time frame unmitigated fair value gap, such as this 15-minute fair value gap right here. And that would be like a 3R. That is the main point why I'm making this video, due to this invalidation, because we did not face it much in the backtest, which we might face over the next months when I backtest every week live, and you'll be seeing it. But that is a very good example that we faded that inversion. And then this also happened when we saw both ES and NQ inverts a fair value gap, and that's where you can make a decision. Go back test it, journal it, and let me know your results. All right, so we're up to R now, or maybe you'll be up 6-7 R. I don't know, depends if you want to aim for more than 1 R or just increase your risk. I just gave you a tip. Just go study it. When you see this happen, it just increase the probability of your trade that it will win. So that is the high and the low, 930 candle, high and low of London been swept, shorts above the range, longs below the range. Yeah. So now we wait for 10 a.m. candle. That's a 10 a.m. candle. There's no gap. There's a gap here. Oh, we do have a gap right here. That is your stop order. Your stop is here. Target 1-to-1. And we see an unmitigated 5-minute fair value gap for us to go break even, which is right there. I'm gonna make this as red as an inversion. Does ES invert a fair value gap as well? Nope, it did not. So we keep our risk as is, and we do not greed. Oh, break even, and we got stopped out instantly. We moved to break even, and because we tapped into a 5-minute fair value gap. Oops. And we saved. We just got stopped out of a break even. Okay, so we're just ending the week on a 2-hour trade. We avoided a good loss by following strict invalidation rules that I explained in the first video, but we did not face it much in the backtest. But this week it was a really good explanation and just giving you an overall idea how to approach the break even and when to invalidate your inversion. Okay, and also this small tip regarding the ES inverts at the same time an NQ inverts a fair value gap, and if you see an SMT, well, that's an extra confirmation. All right, that will be it. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Please like and subscribe, share. If you have any questions, drop it in the comment or join the free Discord. I answer almost everyone. All right, peace out and good luck next week. Bye bye.